Hi Sharon, I'm doing a video to help explain this one for you since it's going to be a little bit easier than typing it out, I think. So bear with me. So this is the problem that you sent me a question about. So I know that there's no specific formula for this, and you're right. It's not so much a formula as it is applying the concept. So the concept of opportunity cost is simply what you give up in order to do something. So if you want to sleep an hour later, you might have to be an hour later to work. So you swap work for sleep. And that's the same idea that's presented here in the graph. If you want to do if you want to study more for biology and get a better biology grade, you're going to have to give up studying for economics, and then your economics grade will suffer. That's the concept here. If you look over here on the left hand side, there's all these tools, and that's one of the tools you use was Ask My Instructor. But if you go here, this is the e-text pages. Now hopefully this was up when you took the test. If you click on that, it will pop up the text pages that you need. And I'll show you down here. So when I did that, it brings you to this page. So it brings you right to the page where it addresses the concept. So this is page 32 in the textbook that would pop up. And it talks about choices a nation's economy faces. So basically that trade-off between, okay, am I going to grow wheat or am I going to build cars? It's a silly example, but they're all kind of silly because it's just a too good example. But the too good example kind of lets you see the concept more clearly. And they show a similar graph to the problem that you discussed. So here's the schedule of the choices. So you could do 50 smartphones and 0 tablets. You could do 48 smartphones, 10 tablets, and so on and so forth. As you increase one, you have to decrease the other. It's a trade-off, and that's what gives you this downward sloping curve. And it's also why it's not a straight line. It's curved because that's in the diminishing returns, which is something they also address in the textbook. So as you move away from one thing, you try to keep making a lot more of something, it's a lot harder. So you can see here you have to give up a lot of smartphones to get only a little bit more tablets, because you're kind of at the end of your capacity to make tablets. And the same thing is going here. You have to give up a lot of tablets just to make a couple more smartphones, because you're really stretching your resources that you need to make smartphones. So this is where you would read up about that, starting on page 32, and it goes into it a little bit more as you go on to the next page. So let's go back to your question. So you can read that over if you'd like to give yourself some clarity, but to just address this exact question from the homework. So you had a question about the two bottom parts. So you got the first question right, which is, the law of increasing additional cost. Like I said, as you keep trying to make more of something, the price is going up. Or the price in terms of how much you have to give up. Up here, to get a letter grade higher in econ, you only had to give up 1 letter grade, or 2 letter grades for biology. But down here, you have to give up a lot more points on your biology grade to get a little bit more points on econ. So that is correct. So for the second question, using the data in the table above, the opportunity cost to the student for the additional amount of study time in economics required to move her grade from 60 to 70 is. So if she's at 60, so they're saying she's at 60 for her econ grade, and she wants to get to 70. How is her biology grade going to be affected by that? How much biology grade does she have to give up? So you see here, and it's already marked, this is probably markings that you did. I'm not sure if this is specific to you or if it came like this, but you see that at a grade of 60 in econ, there's a grade of 93 in bio. Now if you wanted to go to 70, you could click here, and it's not letting me click because this is your work. I'm not actually working on it. But if you were working on it, you could go to a grade of 70 in econ, go up to the line, and if you were to click here, it would tell you exactly what the bio grade would be. It looks like it's going to be about 86. And then you would say, oh, okay, if I look at the math, it looks like it's going to be 85. 85, so you went from a grade of 93 down to 85 in bio, so you could take your econ grade from 60 to 70. So you had to give up 8 points in your bio grade to get those 10 points in your econ grade. So that's why the answer is 8. It's 8 biology points. You answered 10. So, I mean, I'd be happy to go if you want to explain to me how you got 10 and we can compare and, why the answer should be 8, but that's how you would get it. So when you get this exact number, it's going to be 85. So to go from 93 to 85 is 8 points. So to answer the second part, using the data in the table above, the opportunity cost to the student for the additional amount of study time in economics required to move her grade from 90 to 100. So, as you can see here, it's going to cost her more biology points, more points on her biology grade. So, at 90, and again, I can't click on it because I'm in your exam, not in another one, but let's say it looks like it's going to be about 50, 57 or 58. And when she's at 90, and to go to 100, it's going to bring her all the way down to 40. So it's going to be, they're saying it's exactly, they're saying it's at the 60. Okay, so they're saying it's at the 60. So at a 90 econ grade, she starts at a 60 bio grade. But to get to 100 econ grade, it's going to bring her bio grade all the way down to 40. So you can see that's where it crosses. So 100 econ grade means she can only get a 40 in bio. A 90 econ grade means she can get a 60 in bio. So she has to give up those 20 points from 60 to 40 to get from 90 to 100 in econ. And that's why the answer here is 20. This is the correct answer. When I click reach over it, it tells me your answer, which is you answered 9. So that's how you read the graph. This is a production possibilities curve, so that's what you're going to look for in your textbook, like on page 32 that I showed you when you click here. And it's referenced in other parts of the book as well in that chapter. And this just quickly tells you, this is so you don't have to point. So if I go to 90, it's 60. I can also read here that 90 correlates with 60. Because, this graph is a little hard to read. So that's what the table is for, just because some of the points are hard to read on the graph. But this is just, these numbers are put into this graph, and then they're just, connect the dots. So they're the same thing, just this is a table, and this is a graph of the same numbers. These are pairs. So you see the 100 and the 40 is 100 here and 40 there. And you see like the 60 for econ and the 93 for bio. You see that here, 60 and 93. So that is how you interpret this, and that is how you answer those questions. If you're still concerned, please feel free to let me know.